Boom, boom, boom. Boom, ba-doom, boom, 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 boom. Well, let's hope that worked out the way it was supposed to. Is there any audio? Do I have any sound? Why don't I think I have sound? Let's see. I tried something different tonight. Why don't I think? Let's see who is on here. I may have, I may have technical difficultied myself into oblivion here, but let's just see. Is there anybody on? You hear me, Radioactive? Awesome. Now I see on my other chat window that SPC3D and Gary T were on there. Hey, Marcus, how are you? Glad you can hear me. Good. I did something a little different tonight. I'm using OSB as a virtual camera, and I am streaming from StreamYard. because what I want to do tonight to be a little bit different is invite anybody who would like to pop on and come on chat with me tonight, just to do something different. This was sort of a last minute schedule that I put together for tonight's stream. So I can't really see the chat the way I've got this set up. There we go. That's going to be a little easier right there. There we go. Okay, so I see Marcus, you're on, Radioactive is on, and I don't know if Gary and SPC3D are still on. Are you guys still on there? It only shows me 3 watching. I got 4 watching now. I'm just hoping something didn't mess up with going live on YouTube versus going live on StreamYards. But I think we're okay. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to paste and hopefully pin, let's see, the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come. So I've pinned the link to StreamYard. I believe it should be pinned at the top of the, yeah, it should be pinned at the top of the YouTube chat. So if anybody wants to come on and join me, you are more than welcome to. You don't have to. I just thought I'd open it up tonight for a change. Because I'm going to be doing, I'm not building a printer, I'm not reviewing a printer. Well, I won't say I'm not building a printer. You'll see just over, right up above here, I was just going to talk really quick about the results I got from the, yeah, I'm having friends on. Yeah, absolutely. And Gary, I see you found me. Good. Or you've probably always been on, so. I can ignore this other chat window because I believe it's just going to confuse me more than anything. Let's see, there we are. Okay. I don't know which window I want to look at. This is my first time using OSB as a virtual camera to stream on StreamYards. So yes, I think we're going to go. Hey, Mark, how are you? Good to see you out. So yeah, I'm just going to briefly go over, pop the light on these, and let's go to the full screen. I just want to go over what happened last week with the upgrade to the Fetus Dragonfly nozzle on the Ender 3 V2. Still got a little bit of work to do on it. So these are the 3 models that I ended up doing. So the first one here, number 1, right here, this is the one that was done with the original Hotend, the Creality Ender 3 V2 Hotend, and it was pretty good. It was really good, as a matter of fact. There was a little bit of sag in the overhang test there. You can sort of see just down in here, the little bit of sag happening. But overall, it was a pretty decent test print. The overhangs were excellent. If you look on the back of the overhangs here, all the way up to 80 degrees. So then we switched the hot ends and we put on this one after putting the hot end on. And this one was, oops, this one came out terrible, actually. The detail in the pins there, the overhang sag, or the bridging sag, sorry, I meant bridging when I said overhang on the last one. And then the overhang up here was not as good. Matter of fact, these parts were quite weak, actually. On both cases, they were pretty weak. But that was with a new 5015 fan, and that fan was running at 100%. And I think the fan was the issue. So what I ended up doing on my third piece here is I slowed the fan down to 70%. And is this the third one, or is this? Yeah, this was the third one. I slowed the fan down to 70%. I got much better results. I got a little bit cleaner. I can still get cleaner. I've still got to play with the fan. I got a little bit cleaner on the pins. The bridging was perfect, actually, on these, right up to the longest bridge here. And I even got a little better, oops, if I turn the light off, you'll see I even got a little better quality. It was in depending on the light you see, but the text came out a little better, and it was overall better. But I can still, the overhangs, there was a little bit of drooping in the overhangs at 80 degrees up here. So I can still do a little bit of tweaking on that fan. But I think that hot end's going to work fine once I tweak the fan. So really what I did was I added 2 variables to that. I switched the hot end and I added a new fan, but I didn't allow for the power of that new fan to begin with. And from the research I've been doing, I've been doing, it says between 65 and 75% fan speed for that powerful of a fan when I'm switching from the stock fan to that larger one. So that's sort of where I'm at with that. So that was sort of the experiment with these guys. Sort of a conclusion from last week. I'm going to keep working on that. But the main goal was basically to get the hot end switched out and working, and it's switched out and working. It just needs a little bit of tweaking. So we can throw those aside for now. So let's see if there's any conversation happening. We have Chris Travis on there. Hello, Chris. Let me just, my windows are just a little bit weird here because I'm trying to get the chat in here because the chat is not showing up. Because I'm streaming from StreamYard, I cannot get my standard YouTube chat, but that's okay. I don't believe I can anyways. Let me see. Now I've just got windows opening up everywhere. Here we go. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to look at this and see if the actual... Bear with me, guys. And no. Okay, the pop-out chat on YouTube's not working, so I am depending on the chat that I'm seeing right here. And there we go. Okay. Yeah, I know, Marcus. This is kind of a circus going on right now. Yeah, it's what I get for deciding to make a few changes last second. So, but that's okay. Anyways, as I said earlier, there's a link up above on the top of the chat. It's going to be right over this way. If anybody wants to join me, you're more than welcome to. You know, come on out and just hang out and chat with me while I do what I'm going to do. We'll talk about this a little bit after. I've got another special guest that's going to come on stream a little later. I haven't really named him yet, but this is my little friend that's going to come on, and I'll show this off to those of you who haven't seen it yet. You laughed at how I tossed the prints, yeah. You should see, I do a cleanup the next day, so yeah. And those aren't worth keeping, those prints. So so what we're going to talk about tonight, if I go to my second main camera, or this one right there, what you're seeing right there is the inside of my Flashforge Creator 3. It's the IDEX printer. You may notice something missing in this picture. And if you notice that there is basically a whole print head missing, you would be correct. So let me come back here. So where this sort of originated, let's see if I come here and I can, no. So basically what started this, the StreamYard link should be, oh, did I put the YouTube link and not the StreamYard link? Listen to me. Okay, my bad. Okay, let me try this once more. Okay, and we'll go here and we'll post this. This is going to be it. Yeah, my apologies. Let me unpin that link up top. And let me pin, yeah, I know it's unpinned. Move, go away. And let me pin this message up top instead. I think this one would be much better. Come on, pin. But anyways, there's a StreamYard link. My apologies. Yeah, first time using the software, go figure. No, that should be pinned up top now. So, so yeah, so I'm actually doing another multitask here because I'm going to be looking in StreamYard. I'm going to be maybe highlighting some posts, and now I'm going to actually disassemble a hot end for you. So it's sort of like juggling, right? So I'm not a very good juggler. Anyways, we'll move on. So let's see. Do we have anybody watching? We do have people watching, which is great. So there we go. So I've pinned this link to my StreamYard right now up to the top of the chat. Let's see if it took, and it did. So anybody wants to join in, by all means, go ahead. So what I'm going to do, what sort of brought me to doing this Flashforge hot end is because I was trying to print some wheels for a droid, little wheels just like this, and we'll talk about this more later, that go on the droid. I wanted to print them in TPU so I'd have a little more grip. So I threw some TPU on the Flashforge, and I ended up getting jam after jam after jam in the hot end, and I still don't know why. I'm obviously new to doing TPU, and I obviously haven't tuned it in correct or something. So basically, I wanted to take the hot end apart and see what was causing the jam, see where it was jamming. And so I thought, well, this is maybe a great little thing to show for anybody else out there who may have or is looking at a Flashforge Creator 3, because the hot end on the Flashforge is significantly different than any other hot end I've seen on any of my Creality products or any of my Anycubic products or a lot of different printers. I'm sure some of you guys out there who are familiar with a lot of printers will have seen this type of hot end before, but I haven't. So I did cheat a little. If you look here, you'll see on my tabletop here that I do have a hot end fully disassembled. That is the one hot end that you see missing out of the printer right now, fully disassembled. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what I wanted to do right now while I'm on the stream is I'm just going to go over, and I've got the other camera set up over there so you guys can watch me and see what's involved in disassembling the hot end on this printer, because it's quite interesting and it's quite different. So let's go ahead and do that. If anybody's going to come in and join, by all means do. If I leave you hanging for a little bit, forgive me, because I'm going to be sort of over in the other end of the studio, but I'll be watching the chat over here at the same time. So let's get right at it for now. Let's go to this camera. Okay, so this camera here is going to be showing the inside of the Flashforge. So let's go over here. Hopefully, oh, I've got the wireless mic on. Of course, you guys are still going to be able to hear me. So now I can't see the chat at the moment because I'm going to be too far away. So if you have any questions or concerns or comments, let me see if I can bring a chat window up. What's the shore hardness of the TPU? I don't know. I'll find out. I'll show you what I'm using. I'm brand new to TPU, so I honestly don't even know what that question means. But you can teach me, because that's what this is all about. I teach you, you teach me. It's more so the other way. You guys teach me. So not Monday night yet. Did I say Monday? I might have. Anyways, so I'm going to go over here. Oh, looks like somebody wants to come on. Oh, Mark's coming on. I'll add Mark to the stream. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, so I'm just going to go over and disassemble this hot end, and you can just hang out there and we can chat as we go. Hopefully we're not getting any feedback on my stream. I think I've never done this before, so I've never done a StreamYard with an OSB virtual camera, so we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to come over here. Should be able to see my hand entering the hot end here for sure. Here we go. So this is the other hot end that I've already assembled, where it goes. So you can see up top here, this is a daughter board. So this is where everything plugs in from the hot end. It plugs right in here, and then everything from this daughter board is going to go to the main motherboard, which in this computer or in this printer, I haven't had it apart yet, so I don't even know. I'm assuming it's underneath somewhere, but there's no way I'm going to strip this thing down to have a look. Not at this point in time anyway. So, but this is a solid cast mount for the hot end and for the cooling fan and for the extruder, because these are direct drive hot ends. And it's really built well. It's riding on two rails, and we have the upper belt here, which is controlling the left hot end, and then we have the lower belt here controlling the right hot end. So this one's fully disassembled. So I'm going to slide that one off to the side, and we're going to disassemble this one. So the first thing on here is we have one screw up here. It's holding in the hot end cover. I've got this camera to try and not impede the view too much, so we'll see what happens. So we just pop this one screw out, and I've got my handy dandy, my new handy dandy magnetic tray, so I can put my parts in it so I don't lose them. I have a habit of dropping small screws. There we go. So let's put this camera back up a little. So this cover just simply pops open and then just snaps down a little. Now that piece that just fell out, which I do every time, and it just fell somewhere. I'll find it later, but what that piece that fell out is this. This is just a little filament guide that rides in on the top of the cover, which guides the filament into the extruder. So I'll find that one after. I always do that, and I always say to myself, next time I pop that off, remember that's going to come off. And you think I remembered? No. Oh, there it is. I thought it bounced in front of me. It bounced behind me.
Hey,
Okay,
Tim, all your viewers can see me.
sorry?
All of your viewers can see me.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's the idea. When you join live on a StreamYard, you're exposed to the public. So everybody can see anybody that joins. And if you're not comfortable with the video, you can actually turn your camera off and just go audio. So anybody who and what I need to do here, sorry, and I'm glad you said that, because what I need to do is make you there like that. There we go. I want this screen to be a little bit bigger so that
Yeah.
everybody can see that. Hey, BCK, how are you doing? Okay, there we go. So that's going to be a little easier for people to see. My bad. So what I did there for those, yeah, I was on the smaller screen, but all I did was pop off this cover, and there's a little filament guide inside that goes on the top of the cover that guides the filament in. So, okay, so what I'm going to do first thing, because I learned a lesson from this one time before, is I'm going to take my handy dandy phone and my camera, and I'm going to take a picture of the orientation of those plugs on the daughter board. I've had a bad habit in the past. There we go, and just another angle of unplugging plugs from a board. Then I go to reassemble it, and I go, how did I take that apart? I'm sure everybody's done that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to, over on this side, there's the cooling fan right here. There's two screws on this side on the top of the cooling fan that are holding the cooling fan into the mounting block. So we're going to pop the cooling fan off of here just by removing these two screws. There's one, they're fairly long. And there's another one on this side. There we go. And I can't quite spin. There we go. It's a little tight hitting these rods here. Once I get it loose, I should be able to spin this off. There we go. Come on. And that should be out now. There we go. And that second long screw. I peeked over a little bit there. So there's our cooling fan. I'm just going to snip this cable tie up here. Right here. Just to get these wires separated. Don't want to snip a wire, which I've done before. There we go. So now I can separate these wires. And just before I get going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just unplug these wires from the daughter board. Just gently pulling them. There is that is going to be the stepper motor. This next one is going to be the cooling, or no, this is the thermistor wire. And this next one we have is a cooling fan I just took off. So there's a cooling fan. And it's an interesting looking cooling fan. It's a single port or single blower. Yeah, but it works quite effectively. Get nice prints off of this machine. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the stepper motor. That was the Hotend. Or the, that's going to be the, what is that one? Oh, you know what I just noticed on this is it's a dual sort of purpose cooling fan. So I just noticed this. So this one fan is actually cooling the heat break or the heat sink, and it's cooling the part. That's interesting. So it's a single fan for both the print head, the cooling fan, the part cooling fan, and it's a single fan for the heat sink. And that's what this hole right here is for, is that sits right on the heat sink. Interesting. Okay. That's why it's different, because in all the other printers I have, they're two separate fans. And then lastly, so this wire is controlling, I'll have to see what that one's is for. And then this last one is the stepper motor. That's the stepper motor right there. And then I need to take this little screwdriver, and this is the heater cartridge. So we just unscrew the heater cartridge from these two. And these don't matter which ones go back in which way. And there we have all our wires disconnected from the daughter board. So now, to get the extruder off, you'll see there's just two little screws right here that I have to pull off. So we'll get the first one here. Okay. Oops, take it off all the way. Okay, there's the first one. They're sort of a medium length, so it's easy to remember what goes where. And then there's another one over here. Pop this. There we go. And we'll pop this screw out of here. Come on. And that takes the extruder off. So we're going to look at the extruder a little closer after as well, because it's an interesting extruder. So that comes off. And then the last thing, oh, I see. I know what this one's for now. We'll talk about this wire after. I just recalled what that's for. Now to get the actual hot end off, there is... Oh, it's right under here. It's a little tight to get at. But there is a nut right here, a bolt right here. And this is a black one with a lock washer. And another one on the other side, which you can't really see, but it's basically on the opposite of the one I just took out. And this one here, I always have to feel for, because I can't get my head in there to get a good view of it. Come on. There we go. And that comes off, and the hot end comes off. I'm going to take this off slowly. So there's that second screw. So I'm going to take this part off slowly, and then we're going to go back over to the desk here, and I'm going to disassemble this piece by piece just to show you how this thing comes apart. But that's the hot end on this printer. It's much different than the hot end that you guys will have seen on your Ender 3s or on your CR printers or pretty much most other printers. I think this is, I'm not sure if this is unique to Flashforge or not, but okay. So there we go. And then in here we have the, again, the empty, I call this just the carriage or the hot end mount with the daughter board up top. So pretty clean. Okay, let's go back. Here we go. Let's see where we're at here. Two of the same streams. Oh, you guys are, somebody else is streaming too? It always happens with my streams, but that's okay. My streams are not as popular as other people's streams yet. Give me time. Ha ha ha. But I appreciate you guys being on. Even if you're multi-streaming, that's perfect. So we only have 10 right now, but hey, that's all right. So where am I here? There we are. So we've got this hot end off. So I'm going to switch to a different camera now. There we go. So we have one of them disassembled right here already, but we're going to walk through this, and I'm actually going to use the close-up camera in part of this. Did I put the close-up camera on the screen? I didn't. Let me just add my close-up camera to this scene, because this may actually be a little easier for you to see. Let's do that, and let's bring it just sort of over in the middle here. Here we go. And if I turn the light on this, it might be easier to see. So on this hot end, we have so it looks quite different. So first thing we do is take this cover off, which is covering everything up. Now, what we have here, I didn't know what this was at first. This is called a, somebody out there is going to know this before me. But this is called, man, I just looked this up earlier, and I actually asked Brian from the first layer what this was for, and he told me, but I'm trying to remember the name of that. That is called a, okay, prize to whoever tells me what this is called first. This little piece right here. Okay, so let's see who comes up with it. I'm just going to look it up really quick. And I'm going to figure out what that's called. Anybody come up with it yet? Not yet. There we go. I found it. Okay. No, yeah, there we go. Boiler Ram wins the prize. Don't know what the prize is. It's a piezoelectric sensor. Now, I didn't know what they used a piezoelectric sensor for. There we go, on this Hotend, but apparently, and this is something I learned new today. So this printer levels very similar to the, similar in a way to the CR6 SE by nozzle pressure on the bed. Now, hope I don't butcher what he told me, but Brian from the first layer explained to me basically that the piezoelectric sensor has a current that goes through it. And that current basically resonates, or whatever you want to call it, with the nozzle, a Z probe, exactly, Boiler Ram, and basically sends a signal back to the brains of the printer, telling it how close, or as far as the pressure that that happens when the nozzle hits the bed. So to dummy it down for people like me, it's basically their auto bed leveling sensor built right into the nozzle. So yeah, so that's the piezoelectric sensor that comes off first, and that was that mystery plug that I unplugged and I wasn't sure what it was. And then under the piezoelectric sensor is just a little cap that separates the sensor from the heat sink. Okay. Lots of deltas use them. Let's see. Lots of deltas use them for leveling. Okay, cool. Hey, John, Tripods Garage, how are you? Thanks for popping in. We're just dissecting the Hotend of the Flashforge Creator 3 because it's a very different Hotend than most people are used to seeing. So there we go. So underneath that piezo sensor, if I'm saying it right, piezo sensor, the piezo sensor cap. So we have the cap, the piezo sensor cap. Then we have the tiniest heat sink I've seen on a 3D printer. So this is the heat sink. Oops, there we go. I'll keep this under the close-up camera, probably easier for you to see. There we go. So that's the heat sink. Okay. Let's go down this way. Here we go. There we go. And then under the heat sink, now we're left with, I'm going to make this screen bigger. You know what, guys? I'm going to put you right on the close-up camera like this. It's a lot easier to see it. Okay. So this is the rest of the Hotend. So the first thing I got to do to disassemble this is the thermostat cable right here. So I need to take my very fine needle nose pliers because I do not have, believe it or not, a wrench small enough to go around this little guy here. And so basically I have to take that, just loosen this off. There we go. Now with my hand, I can take that thermistor right out. There we go. So that is the thermistor right there. Oh, that's it. Just a full screw-in thermistor. Okay. Now once the thermistor's out, the rest is pretty simple. Okay. So we have the heater cartridge wires, and to get those out, we just basically slide them in underneath here. Whoops. Slide that in underneath here and pull it through like so. It's a good thing these wires are nice and pliable. And then we take the second one here and we slide that in and up like this. And then now the heat cartridge, or the heater cartridge, whatever you guys want to call it, with the nozzle attached, can slide up, and if with a little bit of wiggling, it takes a little bit of work. It took me a little bit of work on the first one to get this out because it's a nice snug fit. And there we go. So now we have the heater cartridge with the nozzle. Okay. And then the last thing we would do is we will take our spanner pliers here, and we're going to, now I could do this hot, I can do this cold. I always hot tighten it, but I can take this nozzle off hot, or cold, I mean, sorry. And so we hold on to this, the heat block. Oh, come on, get under the camera with this, and we take our wrench, which is in here. Here, let me go back to this other camera. It might be easier to see me here. There we go. See what I'm doing here. So, and I'll get the close-up camera pointed there too. There we go. And I'm just going to take my wrench, and I believe this is the right size right here. And we can now, come on, don't make a liar out of me. There we go. Nozzle comes off quite easy. So we can put this down. And nozzle is going to come out. Quite simple. So the other thing you'll notice too is there's the nozzle. That's a kind of a different kind of nozzle that this thing uses easier. So anyways, so what it boils down to, if we look on this overhead close-up camera, we have the casing for the entire hot end. Okay. Then we have the heat block. We have the nozzle. We have the heat break, heat sink. And we have the, then we got to put on the little piezo sensor holder. And then we have the piezo sensor. Oops, we got to put the thermistor in right in there too. We have the thermistor. And then we have the cap that covers it all up. So that is basically the anatomy of the hot end for this printer. So now we'll just throw it all back together real quick. Let's go to this guy here. I'm going to raise this camera up a little bit more. There we go. So it'll be a little bit easier. So reassembling this, pretty straightforward. Okay, so we have the holder. Now, the one thing you got to keep in mind in this is it's pretty much symmetrical piece, other than on the one side, you'll see it's got this hole right here. And this hole here basically has to be, that's where the thermistor screws into the heater block. Okay, so we got to make sure that when we reinsert the heater block, I'll show this on the close-up camera, the one, I don't want the light on there, it's just making it too hard to see. On the one side of the heater block, right there, you'll see the threading, which is where the thermistor goes into the heater block. So we want to make sure that the heater block goes back in, so that threading, that hole, lines up with this hole here on the case, I guess, if you want to call it that. So we'll slide this. I'm having trouble keeping both cameras going here. We'll slide this back in. Okay. And just making sure that that thermistor hole lines up with this hole right in here. Just like so. Okay. Who else is streaming? I'd be curious. They're probably a little more interesting than this one. There we go. So you'll see I've got the hole lined up for the thermostat in there. Okay. Once this is back in, we can then take these wires again and feed them back through the side here. Like so. And same with this one. Okay. One thing I should have done first, but I'm going to hot tighten it anyways, is I should have put the nozzle in and tightened it, but I'm going to hot tighten the nozzle when it's back on the printer. So we have these through like this. I can put the nozzle back in right now. And I like this because I can tighten the nozzle from the top here. Whoops. Okay. I'll just finger tighten that nozzle. Well, I'll wrench tighten it a little bit here. But I am going to hot tighten it as well once I heat up the printer after. So we'll just snug that up a little bit. Okay. Nozzle's in. I'm going to put the thermistor cartridge back in. Okay, and that just screws into this little hole here. get these wires up out of the way. Here we go. Okay, take my needle nose, just give that a little snugging up. Not over tighten, just snug, just so I can't turn it by hand. Okay. Now we do the heat sink. There's two ends to the heat sink. There's a little end with a little bit of a seat in it. Oh, thanks, Travis. I appreciate that. Sometimes I think I bore people with this stuff, but I appreciate that. And we have a flat side of the heat sink. So the flat side of the heat sink goes down towards the heater block. So that slides in like so. Right down like that. And if you notice on the nozzle, this is obviously a all metal hot end. It's got quite a heat break zone in here between the actual hot end and the heat sink. So it's got a good gap there, so that there's very little, if any, heat creep going to happen on this with this hot end. So once we get that in, then we put the piezo sensor holder on there, like so. Then we have the piezo sensor, which sits in the holder. Now the holder has a notch on one side for the wires of the sensor to come out, and that notch goes to the heat cartridge wires, and the thermistor wires are coming out the front, and that piezo sensor wire comes out the side. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the cap that caps this all off. That goes right over top and covers everything just like so. So that's the hot end reassembled, and then this is going to be loose until we screw that back up onto the carriage there to secure it. So let's go back and do that really quick. You dropped yourself off the other stream. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, it's right now when I'm running back and forth and not watching the other stream. Oh, you dropped yourself off. I see. Okay, I'll get back to you after. Once I get back from reinstalling this, then I'm not going to be running back and forth. I'm going to stay at my desk here. So, yeah. Hey, Jerry, thanks for popping in. So let's run back over and reinstall this hot end. And then when we're done that, I'll come back over here and we'll talk about a couple other things that are going on. Let's get back to the second camera, which is this one. There we are, back inside the Flashforge Creator 2, Creator 3. Yeah, I get it right. Now, I'm going to, as you can see in here, my hands don't get in the way, I'm going to keep this screw on here. I think it's going to be easier. So we want these wires all coming out the front with the piezo wire coming out the right-hand side. So I'm going to start by inserting this screw in here. And again, it's kind of shooting blind, but the nozzle, that end of the nozzle goes up inside, right in there. And if I'm lucky, I should hit this hole pretty easy to hold that end of the hot end in, and I did. So I got that back one in. I'm not going to tighten it up quite tight yet. Then we'll take our other little, I believe these look like little M3s, M3 by 6s or so. And then we'll come up here and we're going to secure this end in, just like so. Okay, now I'll snug this one on, like that. Then I'm going to go back and snug that back one in. There we go. So now is the fun part. So I need to remember where those wires went, which is why I took a picture. Because right now I couldn't tell you where those go. Some of them are pretty obvious. Like for instance, I know that the heater cartridge wires, they go right up. Oops, my hands are covering it. Let's see if I come in from the top. There we go. So the heater cartridge wires are going to go right in, obviously, to the heater cartridge. It's pretty dark on here. I don't have much light, so it's hard for me to see. I got to put my hand in the way just for a second, guys. So we're going to put the top one's a little more difficult. There we go. I'm just going to secure this top one in, and I'll get my hand out of the way. There we go. So I got the top heater cartridge wire secured. Now I'll secure the bottom. And I know what some people are thinking, something about tinned or whatever you call wires. I'm not worrying about that. They've never been a problem to me yet. Some people have an opinion on them, and I respect that. And we'll tighten this one in. I know my hand's in the way again. Basically, all I'm doing is tightening that heater cartridge wire in there. Okay. Let's see if I can guess the other ones. Well, no, not going to try guessing. That's why I took a picture. So if I open my photos, if I open that and I zoom in on that, much easier to see. Okay, there we go. So obviously the, I'll just put that in the back there so you can sort of see what I'm looking at. Come on, there we go, photos. Can I lean that up so you can see it? There we go. So we have our stepper motor, which I haven't put on yet, but I will. So we got these ones coming up, which just come from the front. Now the little blue one, which is the thermistor, it's got a red and white end, and it looks like it goes right here. Right on there. Then we have the piezo, Mr. Piezo, which is a 3-wire. And this is pretty simple because there's only one plug that takes 3 wires here. And this guy is going to go here. Didn't even have to look at the drawing for that one. Look at that. Okay. And now we can put the stepper motor back on. Oh, I was going to show you. I'll show you after. I was going to show you this. It's an interesting extruder on this stepper motor. Actually, I might put the other one back because this one does need a bit of cleaning. So, no, I can't. It's mirrored. So, no, actually it doesn't. It's pretty good. I thought that it looked like it had filament in it, but it doesn't. So, stepper motor basically is going to ride. Hang on. So, I just got to make sure I get this. This one here is out of the way. Now, there we go. Just got to get that cable just sort of sits in behind there. So the stepper motor is going to ride right on top of here. And this was the 2 long screws. Okay. Actually, I know what I'm going to do here. Hold on one sec. Be a little easier for you guys if I just raise this up a bit and do that. Hopefully my hands won't be in the way as much. So the feeder is going to sit on top. And the stepper motor is going to screw in with these 2 screws I took. Hang on. Sorry. My bad. See, I'm a little nervous is all. Oh, those are the fan screws. These are the stepper motor screws. Let's get this one going. Here we go. Just got to line that up. There we go. It's just really tight in here. It's hard for me to get 2 hands in here and also keep my way out of the camera. And then the other stepper motor screw is going to mount right in there. And sorry, I can't keep an eye on any chat right now. Those of you who are watching multiple channels, I'm sure have tuned out by now, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll forgive you. Whoever's doing what other stream is probably way more exciting. Okay, there we go. Now, did I route these wires right? I think these wires should come right around in front. There they are. Okay. Same with that one. Now the stepper motor cable, we're just going to plug in here where it came out of, right up in there. There we go. And last but not least is the cooling fan slash, I guess, cooling fan, part cooling fan. And this guy goes right in under here. Okay. And this is pretty easy to line up. There's 2 screws on the bottom of this block. Once we get the first one in and lined up, the second one will be easy. There we go. We'll throw the second one in. I really should use my smaller wrench for this, but I like a challenge. There we go. So I'll just tighten this, snug this up. Where did I put the wire for that? Where did I run the wire for the, you know, see there we go. Not even looking. Hang on. I think I buried the wire for that. See, my streams always have exciting things going on. Note to self. Wire management. Oh, it's right up to where it should have been. Okay. I just didn't see it in the back there. My bad. My bad. Oh, it was hiding. That's why. Aha. Hiding right where it should be hiding. Okay. So I'll snug that on. These don't need over tightening at all. Just snug. And then we have the hot end plug up here. And there's only one spot left on the daughter board to plug it in, and that's the black plug. And I will, so it wasn't really hard to remember where all these goes. The only 2-pin plugs are the hot end, or the thermistor and the hot end fan. And the hot end fan is the black one. So, and if I can get this in, there we go. Everything's back in. Now I should just grab, I'm just going to grab a little cable tie. Bear with me 2 seconds. I got a cable tie right here. Right here. Green or blue? Let's go blue. Since we have a blue wire in here. So I'm just going to tie up these wires. There we go. Snug them up in the way they were. And we'll just snip this off. Whoops. Have I lost anybody's interest yet? Probably. Okay. That's on. Take our little cover. Pretty simple. It's a little tricky to put on, but oh, helps if I have the right side. Is that the right side? Yeah, that is the right side. There's 2 covers. This big opening is where the stepper motor goes. So, and the stepper motor is on the right-hand side. And these wires just sort of sit right in there. So we go in, up from the bottom, sort of hook it on over. This is a little tricky under here. Oh. And I always struggle with this. There we go. Got the bottom. And come on. I always struggle with this, so bear with me. It's just comes off a lot easier than it goes on. Why is it being difficult for me? Everything is on right. Patience. Did I? No, I didn't. Did I? Did I? Oh, there it is. You know what I thought I did? There we go. I thought I put the wrong extruder on the wrong side, but what was hitting is I wasn't raising it enough to clear the extruder lever there. So we hold that in. And finally, everybody's saying finally. Let's push that in and throw that one screw back in. And did I get that in? Should be right. There we go. And now, little filament guide. On the filament guide, there's a little notch right here, and then on top here, which you can't see, there is a notch, but that's just the way the filament guide lines up to go in. And, oops, have to look from above, but I'm a shorty. There we go. And the filament guide just snaps in. And then basically what happens is that's how you guide the filament in, and the Bowden tube sits right in there. And there we go. Hot end complete. So I'm not going to bore you with the fundamentals now, but basically what I will do is I will heat it up to 240 degrees. I will hot tighten the hot end or the nozzle, and I will re-level the nozzle in the bed. And then when I put this one back together, again, I'll do the due diligence, which is a whole other topic, of ensuring that the nozzles are actually exactly the same height and level. They should be once they're back in here, but there is an adjustment up here that can be done in order to level those. So I just won't get into that on the stream. That'll just take too long. So there we go, reassembled. And no sock on these. Didn't come with socks, so they're cold feet, no socks. Phew. Now it's warm down here. That was hard work. Okay, let's see. Any questions? We're going to flood when all melts in Cincinnati. General chit chat. Okay, see? No questions about what I just did. Good. Glad it isn't a podcast. I'm just checking back on chat here to see what I missed. Nothing too exciting. Okay, well, that's pretty much the boring part over anyways, guys. There's only one thing I wanted to point out. I'm going to get this on the close-up camera here. One thing I found interesting about this extruder, let's see if anybody can, it's your basic extruder mounted to your stepper motor, or your feeder, I guess. It's the feeder. The extruder is the whole thing as a whole. But so another prize for whoever can tell me something that's a little different about this feeder. You have your basic feeder. It's a single gear. Filament path is from here. This is a kind of little handy tool that you get with Flashforge for clearing filament paths, but your filament path is basically through here and right through there. Okay, but who can tell me what's unique? You're riveted by my work. Give me a break. You lie, Brian. What's so unique about, short cable, short wire, but that's because it goes up into a daughter board. But there's something on this extruder that I've seen on every other extruder that I don't see on this, or on this feeder, sorry, that I don't see on this one. And I don't know if anybody, there we go, Radmaster. You're the answerer of all. You can't tension the spring. There's no way on this extruder, on this feeder, to tension the spring. It's basically in there, and you're basically at the mercy of whatever tension the spring is at. You were about to say that, Brian? Yeah, okay. Coupler? No, well, might be a little different on this one, but yeah, and so, but this comes apart like typical. You can unscrew this little screw here to get in underneath at the filament path, which is what I did on this one. I had some TPU jammed up right through this whole thing. So I had taken this right apart and cleaned it, but I won't bore you with that because it comes apart like your typical extruder. I had to raise the feeder shaft on the bearing of the stepper motor because it was a little bit out of alignment, which I don't think was causing my issue. But yeah, no way to tension that spring. So it's whatever that spring is. So if that spring ever had to be replaced, you got to be careful what you put in it, because if you put one of them yellow springs in it, it may be way, way too tight. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. So good catch, Radmaster. Put a BMG dual drive extruder on there. I suppose, would it fit this? I guess when it comes to this kind of a printer, it's almost intimidating, this printer, with the parts it has. So anyways, yeah, and I did find it interesting, as I said, that the blower fan, it's basically, this fan is used, if you can see under there, for both parts. So it's one fan, and the fan blows out this little hole here to cool off the heatsink, and then the part cooling fan right here. So I don't know. So basically what that tells me is that every time the hot end is being cooled, or the heatsink, that it's cooling, like, so I don't get that if I'm running PET-G and I'm blowing a 40% fan, I'm not getting as much flow onto the heatsink as I can. So I don't understand it works. All I know is it gives me great prints, but I'm surprised that it's one fan doing two jobs, and I don't know how it distinguishes how it blows where. You know what I mean? I think you guys all know what I mean, but yeah, but it works. So I'm not going to put this all back together yet. It will bore you, and we're not here to bore you. So that was the main thing, and I may do a separate edited video of this for people out there who own the Flashforge Creator 3, and put it together just to show people how to take apart and put together that nozzle and reassemble it in the printer. So with pointing out those little things. So that's it. Thanks for the stream. You guys have been great, and I'm kidding. Anyone have any tips on learning to paint and what paints to start? Travis, you read my mind. Look what I was up to tonight. I'm going to talk about this a little bit too. Now I'm going to go back to StreamYard. Mark, I see you're waiting. There you are.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Oh, hang on. My speaker powered itself off.
I hear you.
Let's see. Now, can I hear you? Huh? Hello?
I can hear you.
There you are. Okay. Anybody else wants to join? There is a link at the top of the chat over here. And feel free to pop in and make fun of me. I don't mind. Anybody can join. I know you're all too scared, and you're all watching another stream, and you don't want to distract yourselves, but you're all welcome to join. And Jerry, if you join, I will not leave you hanging in the waiting room. Maybe. So, okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can get this camera up here a little better angle now. Let's move over here. Oh, love this professional setup. I need remote controls for all these cameras so I can move them around. I see somebody else wanting to join, and I would like to welcome to the stream. Drum roll, please. Marcus.
Hi.
How you doing, Marcus? Oh, let's go this way. Hey, Marcus, how are you?
Good.
Good. So was that pretty like intense, that hot end assembly?
Yeah, so what was the story behind there? Why did you end up having to do that?
Oh, right. I was going to bring out the TPU because somebody who asked me about the type of TPU. I was trying to run TPU. Where did I put it? It probably doesn't help that I didn't have it in its bag if it's very moisture sensitive. Where did I put it when I took it out? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, right over here. I do have it in the plastic bag. So I have some TPU I was trying to run some tires for the drones with. And this is called, I don't know, it's just called TPU 92A. Black 220 to 240 nozzle with a 75 to 85 bed. And that's the type of TPU I was trying to run. So I tried to run that, and 4 times one time it got about 80% finished on the model and it jammed, and it was just printing midair. And 3 other times it didn't even get past about 10% of the build and it jammed. So and so there was some clogged in the hot end, and so that's why I ended up taking the hot end apart. And it's the first time I've separated the hot end on that printer. And so I looked up a YouTube video from Flashforge, and that's when I said, wow, this is quite a unique style hot end. And
Okay.
and I couldn't find any YouTubers videos on disassembling and assembling that hot end. I could only find the Flashforge one, so I thought I may as well do a little stream on it because maybe that'll help somebody out. So
Yeah, the
'cause it's a
extruder
little-
part.
Hmm?
The extruder part of that looks so much like the monoprice maker select, and it did have hard times printing TPU, but there were things that you could 3D print to put in that plastic part that would make it so that the TPU couldn't stray.
It can't
would
buckle.
keep it
Right.
in keep it in line.
Right, and I think, yeah, based on this extruder, there is a little, if you look in the close-up, it's hard, actually, if I turn the light on, it might help, but there's a little gap. There's a tiny little gap between the filament path and where it comes into the wheels there. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a part, I know what you mean. There's a part you can get on that. Oops, there we are. That basically brings the filament right into the pinch rollers. And I think that little gap might have been the problem because that's where I found some stuff jammed in there. So, yeah. Interesting. But yeah, and that's another interesting thing is this hot end fan. It's got one fan doing two duties. So yeah.
I was telling Travis about the Sharpie oil-based paint pens. That really cool thing about that too is most people are familiar with the Sharpies and like the 3 different sizes of the tips. So there's 3 different size tips for those paint pens as well.
Oh, okay.
So like if you use the markers, then you kind of know what size you want based on if you have any experience with Sharpie.
Cool. And Travis says here 92A is a shore hardness. Yeah, and that's French to me. I don't know what shore hardness means. And is that the stretchiness? I guess shore hardness of the TPU.
Yeah, it's kind of opposite. The higher the number, the more firm it is.
Oh, okay, okay.
And there's charts like the bottom of a shoe is is a certain, and then
okay,
rubber band is a different hardness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got some Cheetah for Christmas from my kids one year, and it prints. It's on a higher end, but because of that, it prints really easily.
Oh, Ninja Flex. I've heard of that.
Yeah, and then Ninja Flex also has they have really flexible ones, but the Cheetah one is on the higher end of the shore.
Oh, okay.
Shore scale, and so it's really easy to print. Depends on what you're trying to print. How hard of stuff that you need.
Right. Right. I have a printer coming in the new year sometime. It's the Kickstarter one that prints rubber. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. According to the videos and the streams I've seen on it so far, it works quite well. So I could probably print some rubber tires out of that.
All right, that's the Cambrium one.
The Cambrium one, yeah.
Okay, so if you're printing tires, the Cheetah might be a good option. I don't know what the shore is though, because it's not on the box, but I can look it up.
But they're little tires. I mean, they're not big. I just wanted to print them for these drones. So, yeah. And I was gonna here. Let me go to my other camera here. So I have this little guy here. I don't need. Let's get rid of that camera on that screen. There we go. So I have this little guy. I go like this. Whoops. Yeah. So let me see if I can get the battery going in this guy. This is the one that I did with. I think you were on the stream, weren't you, Marcus? When we built these.
I was watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me hook the battery up.
So the Cheetah is 95. So compared to your 92, it's a bit harder.
A little harder. Okay. Yeah. And the harder, obviously, the easier it is to run.
Right.
I would think. Let me plug the battery in. It's going to want to take off as soon as I plug the battery in because I've got to shore up the. Oh. Don't tell me the battery died. Or do I have it plugged in backwards? Oh, my battery pack died. What?
Recharge.
It was unplugged. It was unplugged. Ah. Come on. Can't be dead. Yeah. Okay, well, oh, there we are.
I was just disconnected.
Oh, I think I just didn't have it plugged in fully. Okay. Let me put this little guy on. Whoops. Let's get the camera out of the way. I almost ran it off the table the other day.
And so for TPU, you'll get stringing, and your intuition will tell you to increase retraction to reduce the stringing, but you cannot do that.
You don't reduce retraction.
You should not increase your retraction
with TPU.
You're more likely to get a jam. So you just
and Chris
you
says
deal with the strings and clean them up afterward.
Oh, okay. Because TPU, I guess, by nature will string.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the little guy that we did with the real Sam Prentice and Jerry and John, Tripod's Garage, and this model is from I kind of never remember his name, and I butchered his name when I said it the first time. I felt so bad, but this is from Michael Baddeley. Hopefully I got his name right that time. Michael Baddeley's model. It's the first thing I've ever printed, 3D printed. Well, it's the coolest thing in my opinion that I've done. It's my favorite thing, and it's because I've never worked with electronics, servos, or anything like that before, let alone remote controls.
Yeah, well done.
So
sure.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
so I can have him spinning one way and his head spinning the other way.
And I love the color too. You don't even have to paint that. I mean,
no, I'm not going to paint this one.
Yeah, with the black highlights and everything.
What was that?
Great. I like the black accents with the antenna and the other part. It looks great.
It's just it's very touchy on the remote, and I think it's a thing called that I've got to get used to on the remote because it moves on its own when I'm not moving it.
Oh yeah, drift.
There should be an adjustment to center the remote.
Yeah, something to do with the servos in it as well because they're cheap servos.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually there's an adjustment to center it so it doesn't go
right
left
there.
or right.
It's like a trimming switch, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really cool. So I'm going to bring it to our little 5-year-old school one day. They'll get a kick out of it because he really liked it. So,
yeah. You just got to put a camera in it.
Yeah, well, I want to put a camera and I want to put an on-off switch on it right now because right now the only way to turn it off is to unplug the battery pack. So I'm gonna work in a power switch to it too. And Brian says I want one of those drones. Yeah, well. So that's basically, I had so much fun doing that. That's been the most rewarding 3D printing project I've done to date. Just because it's not your basic print that you print and stick on a shelf. So, and he's got interchangeable heads. I did another head black with an orange accent on it. And I can actually, interchange the head. So the head's interchangeable. You can print different shaped heads too. So he is really cool. Let me get the battery pack out. I know you're going to beep at me, remote, because I'm on power, taking you off the power off you, and you don't want me to. There you go. You're dead. I'll charge that battery pack, and we'll turn the remote off.
Yeah, but I've been a software engineer for a while, and one of the most fun things I had was when I was doing Bluetooth things, because interacting with hardware, something that actually exists in the physical world and making it do stuff through, is way more fun than just making things move on your screen.
Oh, yeah, it is. It really is. So I've got another one. I was going to put this together on the stream tonight, but I don't want to go too long in the stream. I want to leave it at 2 hours, but I'll just talk about it for now. I'm going to do a video of this, putting it together anyways, but I did another one printed in Prusa Galaxy Black PETG. This was run on my Ender 3, on my CR6 SE, and then that's the dome for this one. So I like this one with the orange, with the kind of orange accent. It kind of stands out really nice. So I'm excited about building that one, and this is just a spare gear that drives the dome. So, and then today I've started printing a white one because the next part of the whole project with the stream for this Friday is the painting. So I have never painted 3D models. I'm not a painter by any stretch of the imagination, but I just thought I'm going to have some fun. So I printed one in white, and I've just started painting this guy a little bit. And I mean, it's butchered, but you know what? Drones are meant to be worn because drones go through rough environments. So that's sort of what I got painted on this one so far. With the silver around the eyes, and then the body, I've just done a little bit of painting on the body so far. I started with the acrylic markers, the ones that you just sort of purge and then you draw with. But then I had also bought myself a set of acrylic paints with some brushes. So I've been using these acrylic paints, and I found they went on real easy. And it's much easier to control the flow of it and where they go. So I'm going to color this guy up and hopefully be able to build another one, but I had to order more servos because I ran out of servos. I ordered some from China because they were $3 a servo versus $10 a servo off Amazon. So, yeah. Much less expensive to buy servos directly from China, and they're the exact same thing. It's these little, they are called FLIEC, FLIEC or whatever, FSR90 servos. So, yeah, pretty
Try
cool.
Wish.com.
Wish? No, I'm not going to buy off Wish. They wouldn't. They wouldn't sell these servos, and I'd probably end up getting something totally different than I order. So
it's just an interesting name they pick. Like you order and like you wish that it comes. You know.
Yeah, Wish could take 6 months. Yeah, at least I know with I ordered them off Alibaba, or was it Banggood? I ordered them off. There's 3 of them I use. Alibaba, I think it's called, and then Banggood, and I forget the other one. But they usually take 1 to 2 weeks to get here. It's not bad. So
use AliExpress, I'm guessing.
AliExpress is the 3rd one. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's the 3rd one I'll use.
Yeah, Alibaba it's basically the same company, I think, but that's business to business. So if you're buying huge quantities, then it's Alibaba. But for us, it's AliExpress.
Oh, okay, makes sense. I like Chris Travis. He says the black and orange can be a Prusa bot. Yeah, that's true because that's Prusa orange. So, and Prusa Galaxy Black, I could actually just label it Prusa bot. So, and then I just finished, actually, this just finished before my stream. I got more parts, more of the white parts that I just ran on the Mini. So with and a little bit of stringing on there, but these are PLA. So, and these are just more parts to paint. But most of these parts are the interior, which nobody will see anyways. So don't necessarily have to paint these. But yeah, very cool. I'm enjoying this, and I think I want to build some of these. The only thing I'm looking forward to is apparently there's going to be and I could probably do this myself, but I don't know much about it. But I was watching one of Michael Baddeley's videos, and he says something about a Bluetooth module going in that you could control it with your smartphone. Now, apparently right now it's only for the Samsung, but it'll be available for the Apple eventually. So that if you gift this, if I print one of these and give it to somebody, that they don't have to go out and spend, the money on one of these, so that they can just run it through Bluetooth on their phone. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
because not everybody has one of those remotes. So yeah, that's I when I was deciding what I wanted to do for a stream tonight, it's been sort of a busy week and a busy weekend, and up till yesterday I had nothing planned, and then I had that Hotend issue, and I thought, oh well, I'll just talk about the Hotend on that thing. And Chris says I can check my local hobby shop for RC stuff too. Yeah, I will. We have a shop here called PM Hobbycraft. They used to be called PMS Hobbycraft, but they changed their name. I don't blame them. But PM Hobbycraft. But the thing I find with that, I don't mind for little things like the servos and stuff. I mean, these were almost $10 a piece on Amazon, and I'm getting the exact same product for $3 each from AliExpress. So yeah.
So do you know if
I don't mind
the
waiting.
app that you can use on your iPhone or your phone to control the Bluetooth module? Do you know if the app is free?
I don't know. All I know is he mentioned the app, and I don't know if it's a custom app that he's done or if it's just an app that he's found. So I have to rewatch his video and see. But again, that's a whole educational thing for me, is I need to know how to, I don't know how a Bluetooth module in that thing would work.
Yeah, I've done Bluetooth development on an iPhone, so.
Right, because you still need a receiver or a transmitter in there to transmit the signal to the Bluetooth to the phone. So
right.
you would
Yeah,
still
the phone.
need that.
Oh yeah.
You'd still need a little box to
the
hook up your servos to, wouldn't you? Yeah.
yeah, that would
Yeah.
just be a receiver inside the bot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or a transmitter inside it that
Yeah,
transmits
it's both.
signals.
Yeah.
Oh no, a receiver, because it's going to receive signals from your phone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, it's great though. But then I can use this same one here to run different bots. I would just have to plug the receiver into the different ones that I make. So, but I want to paint this one up, and this is the one I want to paint up and then bring to our 5-year-old's daycare one day, because Maria said, yeah, you got to bring it to the school. The kids would love it. So I thought, yeah, why not? So the dog doesn't like it too much, but the kids will love it. So, but that's my best paint. I've never painted, and I know Jerry's probably not on here. He might still be on here, but Jerry would probably get a kick out of that, because I've seen some of his painting work and it's amazing. I didn't even sand this. I can't be bothered to sand. So, but if you ever seen Star Wars, which everybody has, the droids are always beat up and dirty. So I'm just sticking true to their form.
You stick in an audio with a voice changer, you can be the bot from the other room.
See you, Travis. Transceiver, John Smith. Yeah.
It does.
Action Hobby. Oh, you have Action Hobby in Calgary, radioactive? Cool. Well, I could look at a couple of these things, I guess, if I needed some servos or some electronics in a pinch. And these guys would probably be able to answer some questions for me, too. So, put a layer of primer on the plastic. I should do that. I've got like a primer color spray paint that I could put on, too. So, yeah. But this is a different stream for me for my Sunday night. So I've not. Do we have anybody still watching? 16 people on stream so far. Oh, they're in Calgary. Okay, good. I'll have to look them up and see. I've only ever heard of PM Hobbycraft. So yeah. And where are you, Marcus? What state are you in?
I'm in Ohio, Cincinnati.
Oh, in Cincinnati. Okay. That's the home of the Drew Carey show. That's where that sort of took place. Yeah.
And the WKRP. I don't know if you
and
remember
WKRP. That's right. Oh, that was such a good show.
Oh yeah.
They don't make shows like that anymore, unfortunately. So
the actual radio station that I listen to mostly, which is like
an actual radio
station, is called WKRQ. So it's one letter. It's one letter different.
They probably couldn't get. Well, I imagine WKRP. I don't know if there is such a station, but it would be pretty popular if there was.
Oh, we're real close. I mean, we're just across the river from Kentucky and Indiana. So.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So how's Ethan's stuff going? I mean, is he getting more activity, more traffic to his YouTube?
He is. Well, just because I advertise his channel in the app now, so he's getting a lot more subscribers. But he's a busy guy, especially when he's in school. They give him so much homework. It's incredible.
What grade is he
in? He's in 8th grade.
Okay, yeah, they would be busy. Yeah.
But he wants to make more videos, and we actually have 2 that have already been shot.
Yeah.
I have to edit them.
Okay.
Well, one doesn't have an ending yet, but the other one is completely done. And he's just a busy guy.
Yeah.
But we'll get back to it. Like, he really wants to make videos. It's just he's making whether we're making videos or not, though. So he subscribes to that Eureka box.
Okay.
It's just one of those maker boxes, but he gets one every month, and it's some project he has to put together.
Oh, okay. I've heard of those. I think that would be interesting. I subscribe to something called, and I'm not going to renew because I'm not happy with it. It's called Gadget Club or something.
Mm.
Anyways, they send you a different gadget every month, and I just haven't been thrilled with everything so far. One of them was a phone charger, like a phone charger base, cordless.
Okay.
So, and big deal, I have one. I have 2 or 3 of them for my iPhones, but another one was one of those VR holders where you put your phone in, and it's stuff that really doesn't challenge your imagination at all, which I thought it was, which sounds like what Ethan's getting. But I'd rather have something where it can teach me electronics, where it can teach me how to, give me a circuit board that's going to do something if I put it together right. So that's what I'd like to get.
Yeah.
You need like those old Radio Shack kits we used to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so he actually put one of them together on a live stream. And I suggested that, that's the easiest YouTubing to do, is just a live stream. So
yes.
Maybe we'll do some live streams with them putting some of those crates together.
I don't know if you have one there, Tim, but we have Sale Electronics here that sells kits like that.
Which store?
It's called Sale Electronics.
Oh, okay. We have
a couple offices in Toronto.
Yeah, we have a store. I forget what it's called. I bought a little thing there once called a Useless Box, and it's kind of cool. I had to assemble it. And it's just basically a little box about yay big by yay big by yay thick. And you assemble the electronics and everything. And anyways, bottom line, what it ends up doing, you flick a switch, the lid opens, and a little arm comes out and turns your switch off and closes the lid. That's why it's called the Useless Box. And so I had to assemble it, and it was kind of fun to assemble it. And in the instructions, it explains to you how it does what it does and why it does. And I like stuff like that because that's why I was excited about this drone project, because to have to use a servo, and to some people it's like it's a servo, it's not a big deal, but to me it's really cool what this does. And now it gives me better ideas, because these servos all come with these big wheels, which we didn't use. So I can imagine I could make a simple radio controlled car for my 5-year-old, and he'd have a blast with it just by using a little imagination. So yeah, it's really cool.
Has he played with the droid yet?
Not yet. No, not yet. No, it was, I had it up there yesterday. The battery was a bit low, so it wasn't really performing, and the dog was going kind of nuts. And I said, you know what? We'll get it out this week. I'll let you try it. So yeah. And
we have a store here called Micro Center, which has a lot of computer stuff. But then they also have a decent electronics section that has kits like what Mark was talking about.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about, like the little box, and tons of little Arduino stuff, just all kinds of neat little projects.
Very cool. Well, see, that's the other thing is that I want to learn for my printers is Raspberry Pi. I've got one. I think it's an older version now because I've had it for about 2 years, but I've never opened it. I have little strip thing with the camera on the end and all this, and you're supposed to be able to use Octoprint with it, but I don't understand it. I just need to learn a little bit more about it, but I'd love to learn how to program those type of boards to do the different things you can do with them. So, but with me, it's a matter of balancing family and my studio and my streams and my business. So it's pretty tough.
Right. I think Ethan will get there eventually because he's already teaching himself to code. Him and his best friend spend a lot of time together remotely, like each on their laptop, but they're working on a game together in Roblox. I don't know if you know what Roblox is, but it's similar to Minecraft, except you can create your own game and share it with everyone on the platform.
Very cool.
So they're creating a game together. It's called
nice.
It's called Cheese Tycoon. So the idea is you run a cheese factory, and you can buy upgrades to your cheese factory to increase the output, and then you make money and you buy more upgrades and stuff. And in the meantime, while you're making money, you can buy weapons and go fight other people who have factories as well. So you're basically trying to sabotage the other players while you're
so sort of like real life. How business works, but they just don't say it that way. It's like takeovers.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, but he's just like, he probably just thinking it's gonna be bored. We're just sitting here looking at our cheese. Come on.
Our little guy's name is Ethan as well, so it's easy to remember your son's name.
Oh, cool. What? So, what'd you name him after?
I'm sort of the stepdad, so I'm not sure. I think he was named after a father or grandfather, or I mean Maria's dad or granddad. So I know his middle names are his granddad and his two granddads. So yeah.
Yeah. So Ethan's brother is named Nick, and we named him after my grandfather, my grandpa Nick, and then his middle name is named after someone in her family. But anyways, Ethan, we just both really like the name Ethan. Like we both really like the Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise's character off of Mission Impossible.
Oh yes, yes.
And then we're also big fans of Ethan Hawke, the character. I mean the actor. So we just really like the name Ethan. But then his middle name is named after her grandfather. So.
Cool. I just remembered I can show comments now because I'm broadcasting from StreamYard. Ay. I gotta get used to this. This is my first Sunday stream that I've done this. So
for some reason your image is frozen on my phone though.
It is on my YouTube as well. If I switch over to my YouTube, but if I refresh it, it catches it up. So yeah. But I don't think it's frozen on because people are still commenting and the comments are still coming through. So, and there is.
Well, I'm watching you on YouTube and you look okay, but just on my phone on the StreamYard connection, you're frozen.
Oh, okay. Well, there's still 18 people and nobody's complaining or screaming yet. So, and nobody else is dropping in. I'm kind of hurt that nobody else wants to drop in. Come on. Although I know Brian BCK has been nagged to drop into streams over and over, and I don't think I've ever seen him in a stream. Or have I? Did he drop into my stream one time? I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought if Tripod was still here that he would jump in.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He would. If he was still here, he would. So he may be somebody else is streaming apparently. So I don't know who. But
I must not be subscribed to them.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got too many people I'm subscribed to right now. So yeah, I don't see anybody on my live feed list here that I know that's streaming other than Jessica Kirsch is streaming right now.
Oh yeah.
With 21 people watching. So
yeah, I was hanging out for a little bit too, trying to give her some support.
There's my YouTube.
Oh, Beast Brian says his Twitch is streaming right now. I don't do Twitch. Oh, there's your YouTube. Okay. Cool. My DeWitt in the top right is from my StreamYard. Yeah.
Oh,
I've not watched a Twitch stream before, so I don't know what that's all about yet. Oh, I have a private chat message I just see. Let's see. How do I get there?
Oh, that was probably from me a while ago.
Oh, was that have been from you a while ago? Okay. I don't know. Wow. It's been a while since I've used. Oh, there we are. What did you take it up? Why did I take it apart? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. You could have put that in the regular chat. But I answered that. I took it apart because I had a jam. And it was mentioned earlier, which makes perfect sense, that if I had too much retraction, which I didn't check.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Flashprint software for the Flashforge. It's their sort of proprietary slicer for the Flashforge. I haven't set up any slicing profiles and anything else for it. And it could very well be problem with my retraction. I'll have to set that. I want to print them. I'm not going to give up. John said, how do I like my Prusa Mini? I love my Prusa Mini right there. It's
I want to try and print some of that with my CR2 or CR3.
Your Ender 3 V2.
Ender 3 V2, right.
Yeah, Ender CR. Yeah.
Is that Mini new for you, Tim?
No, I've had that for about a year and a half or so. But it was on the shelf for a long time because I thought I had an issue with the thermistor with thermal runaway. Turns out my basement is chilly, and that if the thermostat is reading anything below 14 when I go to power it on, it gives me a runaway error. So all I do is right now I just cut my hand over the hot end and I blow into the hot end until I get about 15 degrees, and then I can turn it on. It heats up fine. So I know I can probably change something in the firmware about that, but I don't want to dwell into it.
I checked out the Kobalax's stream on Twitch. I think it was just yesterday, but yeah, he's a DJ, and they hang out there and have a good time. But what's your Twitch stream? I don't even know who BCK000 is. Like I see
Brian,
you on
the
the YouTubes, but I see you on the YouTubes, but I don't know if we follow each other on Twitch or anything.
Who's Kobe?
I mean Twitter.
And then John says, don't forget, I always turn retraction off for flex and other difficult material. That works fine for many prints. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I've got to find the retraction settings in Flash Print. I'm sure there are retraction settings in Flash Print. So, matter of fact, I can probably, it is just such cheesy slicing software compared to all the other ones. But if I were to go like this, let's just see if I can make this work. If I go screen, now is my screen being shared on the live feed here? Let's see there, and yeah, it is too. Oh, everything I show on my screen is being shared. So there, if I go Flash Print, now if I drop a model in here, let's just bring a new project in. Oops. Load file. Let's go to my desktop. Let's go to R5 project. And it was the legs, and it was the wheels. So if I load a wheel in there and then I print, now somewhere in here, I'm going to have retraction, and I really just haven't looked. So is that going to be under advanced? No, it's going to be under perimeter or infill. See, it's a very...
It should be with your extruder settings.
Exterior, visible, general, extruder, base print, maximum, layer. So it's not with that. It's not under perimeters. Infill. See, I don't see retraction under infill. Supports.
It should be right with the extrude. It should be extrude and retract together.
Yeah. Additions. Pre-extrusion, wall, brim, wiping tower. We have cooling. We have advanced, bridging. Then we have others. Z-hop, Z-height, Z-distance, but I cannot find retraction. So, and the other thing, so if I go in here and I'm running, so at 0.12 layer height, 0.2 first height, and if I'm running, I don't know, 220, there's no, and if I hit save configuration, that's it. I cannot save as. So regardless of what material I come in here to do, I have to start from scratch. This will not let me save configurations under specific names, so I can come back in and say, okay, I'm running PLA this, I'm running.
If you change the name at the top, can you then save it?
Change the name here? I can save it as a different print profile.
Under selected profile.
Possibly.
Is there a drop down there?
These are all Dreamer. And again, I've loaded and I don't even have a Dreamer, so I don't know why I'm getting Dreamer profiles. But yeah, but anyways, that's a whole other story. But I cannot find retraction settings in this, so I want to set this up eventually in my. I don't want to save that. I want to set this up eventually in Simplify 3D, or even even if I have to in Cura. So
I print.
Yeah, and I can TPU on the MK3. I know. I can do that. It'll run it fine, I'm sure. And I
print
should, but I'm stubborn.
I print TPU with the same retraction.
Yeah, okay.
Because you wouldn't want to increase it because you'll end up with jams.
First page of settings, Marcel says. I'm just blind, Marcel. Let's see. Let me see. Let me go back. See, I told you, see, this is just, my streams are always interesting. So right on the first page of settings, let me bring that model back in. Let me bring the wheel back in. Let me print. First page of settings. Why am I not seeing retraction? Oh, right there. Jeez. I didn't look at that. Okay, right there. Okay. Well, it's only set at 1.3 millimeter retraction, 30 millimeters a second. Anyways. Okay. Now I feel slightly foolish, but I'll get over it. Thank you, Marcel.
Helps when you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you know, sometimes things are staring you right in the face and you miss them. It could slap me in the face and I would have missed it. So, anyways, thank you, Marcel. Yes. Pretty low retraction. Yeah, that was the default. As I say, I couldn't find the setting before. So, but I'm going to do what Chris suggested. I'm going to probably run it on my MK3 just to get it done, and I know it'll run fine on that. But I should be able to run it on this Flashforge, no problem. So, but I got to get all the nozzles back on and working on that first. So, yep. But I want to do a little bit of series on the Flashforge because there's not many videos out there on YouTube on it, other than the ones that Flashforge themselves do. So, yeah. No, you don't need a lot of retraction on direct drive at all. No.
Somebody knocking?
Yeah, that was Ethan.
Oh. Wasn't me. Non-fam. Are you just joining non-fam? Hop on the stream.
Yeah, Marcel. Jump in. I know he gets on streams.
Yep. Anybody's welcome to jump on. I'm going to go for another 20 minutes, 9 o'clock, 2-hour stream. Unless everybody gets bored and unless the viewership drops below 8, then we'll call it quits. We're at 16 right now.
I always expect Marcel to have a French accent, but he never does.
Color. Well, thank you, Marcel, for that. It's the thing. It looks not as nice in person. If the edges, you see the edges, but I just have to sort of perfect my painting a little bit. So it's, yeah. But as I say, these drones they go through, they take a beating. They're in the desert. They get shot at by the Imperial stormtroopers or whatever it is. And so, you know, I've got to rough it up a little bit yet. I got to take some dirt and scuff it up a little bit to make it more realistic. So, and then that's my best paint job on the side of these so far. Mind you, I can outline them with black. My plan is to go black on the outline of those. So, yeah. But I'm not an artist, so, and I'm first time really painting anything 3D. Masking tape, yeah, but you know how long it would take to mask all that off? I'm too lazy.
Yeah, me too.
Especially if I'm going to masking tape all that? No way. I'll just use a steady hand with a brush. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. And I think the more I paint, the more I try, the more I'm going to want to do it. Once I weather it, it'll look good. Yeah, I agree, Shane. I agree, Shane.
What do you think you'll weather with?
I don't know. Sandblaster. No. I don't know. I like the one. Let me find it and I'll put it up on screen. Let's see.
Because you could just water down like your black, if you want to do a black wash, or you could make like a patina color wash.
Yeah.
Any of that would look good.
But here is one of, oh, his eyes are the same. Maybe that's where I saw it. But if I share my screen here, let's see. If I do this, you can see that there's one of Michael Baddeley's one. I hope I say his name right, Michael Baddeley. And you can see how it's all weathered there, like like that. I don't know how he did that. If he, as you say, mixed the black and the white and just got that sort of dirty look.
Yeah, you just mix the black with water. You get it really watered down.
Oh, okay.
You get it on. You brush it on, and then wipe it off.
Oh, okay.
Whatever stays behind. Okay. Is the weather.
I should have done that before I painted some colors.
No, you usually do it after. No, usually the weathering is the last thing you do.
Oh, but, okay. I'll try that.
And what's interesting is your droid is almost, with a little bit of weathering, would be screen ready. Because screen doesn't show as much detail. But for showing it in person, that's where you have to go all out. Like if your droid's going to be at a show or something, then you go all out with detail. But your droid's practically almost already screen ready.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, because I mean,
from where I'm sitting at, it looks good.
From a distance, really you don't notice the little flaws.
Right.
No. Yeah. Okay. But that's good. I'm going to try that with a watered down black paint and then wipe it off. Yeah, and see. Sort of like I wiped off a little mistake right there. Yeah. Cool. Black wash is done after the painting, before the clear coat. Oh, you mean I got to clear coat this thing too, Chris?
If you want.
Actually, clear coat would give it that nice shine. Yeah. But I think my first thing I should have done was primed it. But
matte clear coat.
Matte clear coat, or maybe semi-gloss. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that way you don't get the shine that makes
it
look like
I mean, I can't. This acrylic paint dries really well. I can't rub that off at all, even in the areas where I put it on thick. So, mind you, yeah, I can scratch it. So, all I can do is I'll just throw him out in the backyard in the summer, and I'll just throw some dirt and rocks at it like it's been in a battle, and it'll really be weathered looking. So, oh, hang on. We do have somebody else coming on. Let's go like this. Oh, like this. And let's say, welcome to Marcel. Oh, look what he's going to show us. I am jealous.
Hey, Marcel.
Nice. Oh, that was printed in transparent filament. I like that. Or semi-transparent. Nice. And a little different shaped dome. That's what I like about this, is we can print a different dome that'll just pretty much fit right over it. I like that. I love the colors.
That's more the R2D2 shape, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
If you weren't stuffing your face, you'd be on. Cool.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Marcel?
Good. Just getting over this COVID issue I'm having. A little bit sick, but sleeping a lot and playing around with these gizmos and keeping myself entertained. Whoa. And now Mike wants to die on me.
Nice painting job on that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
Thank you. Actually, it took me a short amount of time because it's a very basic amount of painting on it. But, yeah, I want to keep it as more transparent as possible.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like the transparent look on it. And with that light blue paint, I mean, that's a really cool color scheme.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to print a bunch of white ones and just have fun painting.
It's actually just all the oil painted pens that... or acrylic pens that Jerry got. Same idea.
Okay, yeah.
So I basically taped off some square edges so I keep it a little square, but otherwise I didn't really keep it in the lines either.
Yeah.
A couple spots here you can see when you get closer up, it doesn't really look as good.
I find those pins. I've got those pins as well, and that's what I first did the eyes with, the silver around the eyes. And I found that they would bleed into the crack of the filament
Yeah, they
a
do.
little bit.
Yeah.
So I touch them up with white paint a bit, but yeah, they're quicker than going by brush. But yeah,
There, yeah. But yeah, I use it for like the basic, and then when I want to get closer to the edges, I'll just use a brush.
yeah. No, that's great. No, I like that. That's good. I just gotta do a little bit more on this. I don't want to go overboard, but I'm just going to keep it a basic couple colors, and then I'll print another one and try it again.
Nice.
But I love that transparent filament look. I may try one in that.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And as soon as I add the LED lights on it, because I have one more spot on my servo, on my RX to set up another servo, so I can set up like another anything that takes power, right? So I'm just
Right.
putting a LED strip inside of it. For Chris Travis saying how difficult it would be to add an FPV camera, not that great, because unfortunately for these domes, there's no way to actually send the electronics up through this. So you're basically you're going to either only have it rotate 90 degrees, which you could do with the dome.
Oh,
They need to use a whole like continuous servo for the dome if you didn't want to. But yeah, you're very limited on putting anything up on the dome.
you couldn't even put LEDs for the same reason. Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you could power itself. You could have like a secondary, like little tiny battery for the LEDs.
So you turn them on so they're always on or something. Yeah, that's true.
But
Hey, what's Gary say? Strap the droid here. Let me bring this up. I'm forgetting I can do this.
yeah,
Strap the droid to the front of your car the next couple days. The dirtiest snow gravel. Yes, it will. Just one trip to my office tomorrow morning would do it, because we're in a meltdown here right now. That's not a bad idea. I wonder if that might not be a bad idea.
one of our buddies in the droid division group, we were talking about doing that just for jokes, and then the one guy was like, well, I'd actually kind of want the mud to like stick on it and stay on there. So one guy responded, he's like, well, just grab some glue and just stick some mud on there and just start throwing it at it.
Well, that'd be a good video, Tim. Anyway, I think you should do it.
Yeah.
I might, what the heck? I think I'll print. I'll start another print tonight of maybe just the dome part on my Prusa over there, because I have the file over there, and maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
Day after tomorrow, I'll just tape it to the front of my car or something. That's not a bad idea. That would definitely weather it.
So Tim, you're a part of the Michael Badley group then, right?
Well, I hopped on with Real Sam Prentice and John and Jerry on their stream last Friday, and then
yeah, I was there.
yeah. Oh yeah, you were too. Yeah.
But did you
I
join
sort of
the
hopped on
Patreon
after.
or no? Because if you join the Patreon, you can go even bigger, and you can go to like this guy.
Yeah,
which
I
is
did join his Patreon.
just scaled up 40. This is like a 40%.
Okay.
Actually, technically, it's 39% scale from the original size. But this is
Okay.
His antenna doesn't scale, and I forgot about that.
You need stronger glue.
And it's kind of the same idea. It has a lot of 3D printed stuff in it to hold it together. And these actually take the little bit bigger motors on them. But
Okay.
Use the file for it. If you download the file for it, it actually has instructions to print the legs so that you can use servos. And the exact same thing
Okay.
that this.
Just
So
bigger
it's
servos.
just bigger.
Okay, and he probably has, like on this one, a list of the parts and what
Exactly.
number the part numbers are. Okay, cool.
And this one's been around for a little longer too, the bigger one.
Yeah.
It was made by a guy named Matthew Zwartz. He's
Okay.
another fellow out there that helps Michael Badley a lot. And
Okay.
yeah, he redesigned that one and has like a whole selection of them, just like the baby ones, where he's got Chopper and R2 and all the ones like that. So it's kind of neat.
Right.
So how'd you get
Mark,
started in this stuff, Marcel? You into RC and stuff?
Well, I fly FPV drones a lot. I started that about 2 years ago. Then I got a 3D printer for printing just like the basic kind of like gummies for, let me see if I can pull it up drone here and show you what I mean. But basically there's like little camera holders, or there's prop guards and stuff like that you can print that go around your drone. So these are all made of TPU. This is TPU. Pretty much everything we use is TPU, even the green little holder for the camera, the blue holder for the antennas, stuff like that is pretty basic.
Very
easy
cool.
print stuff. So I got doing that a lot. Started, I've got about 12 different drones with all different parts and all different things that it needs to hold cameras and doodads.
Do you know if that drone that is on Mars, is that propeller based?
I have no idea about the one in Mars, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I did see a little bit of the rover thing, but didn't really watch much of it, to be honest.
3D Makers Hub. Do you have to? I assume you're talking about the Patreon page there, 3D Makers Hub. Well, you can join Patreon. You can pay the first month. You'll have access to files, and then you're not committed to pay every month. But usually it is a monthly recurrence unless you cancel it.
Correct.
So I'm on a few Patreon pages, including like Clock Spring and a couple other ones, and now on Michael, but I butcher his name. I'm not even going to say it. Yeah, and I'll stay on it because it's not that huge an investment, which I call it, and I'm learning, and to me, being able to print stuff like this and learn how to do this is invaluable, and it's worth the monthly fee that I'm paying to be on his Patreon. So yeah.
And I think the lowest here is like $5 a month. I mean, you're going to spend $5 a day for coffee or whatever, right? So
yeah. It's a little contribution from each individual, but as a mass that supports him, and that's what allows him to continue to produce these things and make them available to us. So I would have paid $50 for a model like this if I had to, just to be able to do it and get the experience to do it. So I've paid $20 for models before it happens. So
Mark, do you do 3D printing as well?
Yeah. I've been making some of my own small things. Hey Google, turn off your lamp.
I'm working on printing the mini mouse right now from Michael Badley, and it's basically the mouse droid that drives around.
Oh, cool.
Pretty much in development right now, and I started working on the Bluetooth board and all the module and stuff like that for it. So the Bluetooth goes on. There's like a card reader that goes in here, and the Arduino side, and you got spots for Evo powering on this part here, and it's all kind of a cool little thing. You can actually buy this from his store. And
so is that the one you can control with your phone?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. I've been with Michael Badley for almost a year now, so I've been part of the club and been building with him and stuff like that. So it's really a lot of help. These guys are very passionate in what they do and very understanding, and they'll help you along as long as you're willing to help yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll give you any handouts, but they'll put you on the right path.
Why'd you make that remote holder?
I didn't.
That's
him.
Something I printed recently.
Nice.
Cool.
That's awesome. Did you design that, Mark?
Yep.
Yeah, because it seems very specific.
Yeah, you're using Fusion 360,
cool.
right?
Yeah, I also did one for my 2-bag at work that holds my oil cans and sprays and stuff upright so they don't spill over.
Awesome.
That's the beauty of 3D printing. If you can't find something custom in the store, you just make it. That's what I like about it.
So I'll give you a sneak peek of. So I told you we had 2 videos going with Ethan.
Yeah.
So we figured out a way you could actually export your character in Roblox as an STL, or actually OBJ, but then you could print it. So that's
cool.
That's one of the videos we're working on. We got to film the end where he takes this off and removes the supports and stuff. But.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got that scanning app. I bought the app, and I did the full-fledged thing, and I've played with it a little bit, but I think I need a second person to do an actual good scan of my head, because I've gotten my head with holes in it and no jaw and all this. And
I recommend just doing for a 3D selfie. You just do the front of you, right, and then you post it. But you're not gonna be able to print that. Yeah, if you want to print yourself,
in the back of it or something. Yeah,
you're gonna need help if you're gonna want something that you can print.
Yeah, for sure.
But we just think we're trying to target kids with and we think kids would think it would be a cool project to, because they play Minecraft and Roblox, and to be able to turn that thing that's on your computer screen into something that you could hold in your hand and paint it and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, that's great. No, I think kids these days, I think this is, when years from now, when they're our age, this is going to be a household item, just like a microwave oven
sure.
or something. I'm
Yeah,
positive about it. So it's getting a lot of media lately. So I shared a link the other day of in New York, a house that was 3D printed house.
Mhm.
And they printed it in 48 hours or something like that. I don't know what the cost was, but you could see the extrusion on the walls inside. It was really cool. So I don't know, and energy efficiency and stuff, I'm not sure, but just the fact that they were able to build the frame of a house 3D printed was so cool.
Mhm.
I see there's one company out there now that does 3D bridges. They'll print it
Oh,
in
yeah.
place.
Awesome. Is it metal?
No, it was an actual full-size bridge.
Concrete?
Yeah, what's it?
No. I think they're printing it out of metal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's metal 3D printers out there now, and it's just, if it can melt, you can 3D print it basically, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, who was it? Was it John, Tripod's Garage, that did chocolate?
There's a couple people I've seen do chocolate printers, and that's not a bad idea. I mean, if I had the extra income, I would definitely get one just for like sales promo stuff,
Yeah.
Print R2D2 in chocolate. Astromech.net. It's a great resource for all R2 and droid type stuff. They have a lot more than just R2 on there, but
Cool.
It's basically a great forum for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Any questions or any ideas and stuff like that, that's a great place to go and check out.
Cool.
And it's all free.
Oh, and then free is good. Free is great.
Yep.
I did a just a cost analysis based on the slicer, and this piece I think it ended up coming out to $6.50, and I think this was like $6 or something in filament. So, when you think about it, if you get the servos, like I was saying earlier, I just ordered 20 or 30 servos from China for $3 each, just because I want to do more projects. So I'm going to commit myself by buying the parts. And so versus the servos I bought here were $10 each on Amazon. It's crazy. Exact same product. So you figure $12, $13 in plastic. This is Canadian dollars. 3 servos at $3 a piece is let's say $10. There's $23. This is built for under $30 probably when you add all the screws and everything up.
Yeah.
And then if you get the Bluetooth module, which is probably cheaper than buying a radio control, then
For sure.
it's not a bad price for a nice little toy like that for a kid.
Exactly.
Or for a big kid.
The most expensive part of all of these builds right now is just the radio itself. My radio is a really nice
that's a
radio
fancy
for
radio.
FPV. So this is about a $200, $300 remote.
Wow.
But because
That's a big one.
all different drones, I kind of need something that's more capable.
Yeah.
The switches has 18 different switches and dials. So with my
geez.
full-size R2 build, I could do whatever I wanted to with it. So it's kind of a multi-purpose thing. And
Does your full-size R2 have lights and sounds and everything as well?
It will. Right now it's just
okay.
3D printed, and I'm still working out a lot of bugs.
Okay.
Full-size R2 is actually only 70% scale. So even though he looks really big,
Right.
only 70%.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I have to scale a lot of stuff, obviously.
Right.
The dome hinges that aren't in there yet.
Yeah.
A lot of the hinges for the doors, they open, but it's just hard to get those to work properly right away.
Oh, okay.
Everything's kind of come down to a little bit more of a project. And like Jerry was saying on a stream before, start off small. Start off something like this little guy, figure out how things work, and then move up. What I did was I went I started before this was even out, before the other ones were out.
Okay, yeah.
Basically the beginning, and then, you know, I had a really small 3D printer at the time too, as well, the Flashforge Finder.
Yeah,
So that's
okay.
down from 100 to 70% to actually get it to fit on my bed.
So,
Yeah.
Marcel, we were talking about that Bluetooth adapter a little earlier. We had some questions. So if you buy the adapter, is the app free then to control it?
Well, there is apps that are free for it. I know the app that I have for the other guy, it comes specified with an HC09, which I believe you can still use the HC10, and that goes right to your Android phone for my type of use. But if you're using iPhone, I'm not too sure about that answer. And I know there's an HC19 that I bought recently that I know has a better connection, but it's only good for a certain radio, like an Xbox controller. I think that's what it's made for. And that's what I'll be using on the bigger type of droid that I have on the floor, only because I'm going to have it so that I can run more than one droid at a time. But as for Bluetooth connection, I'm not too sure about, because I know there's an app for the one that is built for the one I have, but it's designed by the guys from the R2 Club. It isn't, but it is free on the App Store. So that answers that. But yeah, I think it's probably you just probably have to find the right software, the right app to do it for each build, because when people set up the Arduino coding and everything, they have it set for certain things.
Right.
That was my biggest stumble point right now with this guy is I bought a bunch of stuff for it and realized that I can't just use whatever I want. So I'll have to actually buy the Pacific motor drivers. And yeah, I think that's probably all I need to do. I don't have the right motor drivers for this build.
Well, it just seems really cool that you can lower the cost of entry by using your phone, you know, instead of having to buy a controller.
That's correct, yeah. For the servo little guy, I don't know about Bluetooth on this little guy because this one, again, is all set up with just being simple and RX controlled.
Right.
Because all the servos just plug into one RX and then the power plugs into it. Where if you're doing an Arduino, then you've got a little bit more stuff going on, a lot more coding, a lot more setup. Where on our remotes, it's all set up on our remotes. You just change the settings and stuff, and it's good to go.
Very cool.
Yeah, they got to be compatible with the OS devices. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, we're a little after 9. We're going on 2 hours. I'm going to call the stream. But thank you guys for joining in. I much appreciate it, as always. And thank you for popping in, Marcel, and showing off. I love that little blue guy there. So
yeah,
you've inspired me to print one in clear, transparent filament. So,
well,
and I'm going
next time with this guy.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But his legs won't attach properly, so I gotta build in a mechanism for his legs to hold together.
Wow.
Thanks
Very
for having me on, Tim.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, you guys, will catch you next time. I may do some more like this where I invite you guys to join. I think it's great. It's as I say, I didn't have much of a stream tonight as far as what I wanted to do, so this was sort of an add-on, a last-minute add-on. But I'm glad you guys dropped in. Thank you so much. So yep, I'm going to pop you guys out, and then we're going to just close up my stream. So thank you again.
All right, you have a good night,
everybody. Be safe.
Talk to you guys later. See you later.
Okay.
And we'll see you later. And thank you, everybody that's watching the stream in the chat. I hope it was not too boring tonight, but anyways, we'll see what I can come up with next week. I'm going to do the idea. I may print a new one, but I'm going to do the idea of this in front of the car to weather it. That's a great idea. I've just got to make sure it's good and secure. I think if I use a couple zip ties or something, as long as I don't get pulled over for having something dumb in the front of my car, I think that's a great idea. I'm going to try that. What have I got to lose, right? $6 worth of filament. But thank you, everybody, for joining me. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate that. And we'll talk to some of you. A lot of you guys we'll see during the week, I know, on other streams. There's a lot of regulars on here that I see on other streams. Thank you those who hung out for the whole stream, and thank you everybody for the input. And I want to thank Marcus, Mark, and Marcel for popping in on the stream. I appreciate that. I'll do that more often now that I've got the whole streaming from OBS down with StreamYard. So everybody have a wonderful week. Remember, keep a level head, and more importantly, keep a level bed. And happy printing, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye-bye. I guess I better push the button first before I start making faces.